I learned that the City of Toronto has data about shelter capacity for each day. You can download the data, but it's like 30 or 40 megabytes. In the developer section, it shows the ID of this data set and the endpoint for the CKAN API. Having placed this ID as a parameter on the same endpoint, I get here a summary of what's available from the City of Toronto in this data set. It includes a number of resources, and even if I just pick the first one, it has been updated. It says today. So one could, of course, get the whole data set here, but it turns out that there's also a search endpoint as well in the CKAN system, and you can then pass the ID of a specific resource within the overall package. So if we copy this ID and put it in the correct parameter, as I've done here for resource ID, based on the model in the documentation here, resource ID, I get actually this up-to-date list. You'll notice I also added the sort parameter with occupancy date descending, and if I turn this off, I get some data from January 1st. But indeed, I could turn on the sort and get very recent data. The reason this works is that the City of Toronto and the Government of Canada and other governments as well use CKAN as their data store mechanism system. Finding a relevant ID can be a bit painful, but once you've found the ID of a resource, that resource becomes queryable and filterable and limitable and sortable, among other things. So just to show that, let's update the limit from the default 100 to something a little higher. So let's do limit and then 250. So now if I do send here, we're going to get 250 records. CKAN also powers the Open Data Portal in Canada, so it's likely we'd be able to use a similar approach to run queries on Canadian government data. That's for another time. Thanks.